All right, one take. If I miss anything, that's too bad, noobs. You have to figure it out yourself, like the rest of us did 7 years ago. All right, before multi-threading existed. You literally could not have Google Chrome open and PoE open at the same time, or else your computer crashed. True story. True story. Hey guys, new video here. New player video for Incursion League. Wow. I got a lot of questions about this, so let's just talk about the rooms first. What I think about the rooms, which ones are good, early in the league, later in the league. And then I have a handy dandy map here. No penises in my chat, please. And I'm gonna draw some connectors and kind of go through like how you would I guess like optimally run it and what I like to do. Okay. So first things first, if you just care about the rooms, let's just talk about them. So we're gonna start at the special rooms here. Now, Sacrificial Chamber is pretty cool. If it's a tier 1, it's straight garbage because it turns any item into any other non-league specific unique item, right? Pretty bad. You don't even use it. You'll probably skip it. Early league, late in league, it doesn't really matter, okay? Unless you drop a unique inside the temple, then you can throw it in there if you're close by, okay? But I wouldn't go out of your way to get this. If you get a tier 2, it drops any it drops any item, including league specifics, and so it goes any direction. So if you put in like a normie item, like a unique jewel, it could become a headhunter. If you put in a headhunter, it could become the goal. It can become Cosprey's Malice or whatever, right? These cannot be boss-specific drops, though. So, for example, you can't just get a Star Force or a Void Force out of there. And then the Tier 3 is the same class. It is not the same type. So, if you put in a leather unique belt, let's say you put in Mortal Flesh, it won't become like a possible... it could be a Headhunter, but it's not going to become another leather belt. It will become any other belt, right? Like a Jebaited Breath, usually. But if you put in a belt, you'll get a belt. Put in a shield, you get a shield, etc., right? But if you get a Tier 3, you'll always use a leather belt no matter what, okay? Just like the most fun. It's the most, exciting return there. Okay, let's talk about Splinter Research Lab. This breach got nerfed 3 to 4 different times already. Complete garbage, even if you get 3. Early in the league, you might do it for the splinters because you'll still show splinters on your filter. Tier 1 is just like 2 hands, I think, with like 2 or 3 splinters each. A Tier 2 is 1 breach, and then a Tier 3 is 3 breaches. Takes a long time. The room is small, so the after like maybe 20 seconds, the entire breach will be blocked, and you won't get that many spawns, so it's safe to skip it. And then the explosive room, this is actually a very nice room because the explosive room, tier 1 you get 1 charge, tier 2 is 2 charges, and tier 3 is 3 explosive charges. There's explosive barrels in the room too, so be careful so you don't get one shot by running into them as a melee character and then like using a cyclone or something. The charges make it so that even if you don't have the links, so for example, if you look on the left side here on this map, you see how this empowerment chamber and this hall isn't connected right here? Well, if you use an explosive charge right here, you can just go to that room. So, getting 1 to 3 of those is very valuable for like the smoothness of your runs. Hey, Lily, don't eat the garbage. Get up back on your bed, you silly goose. Thank you. Okay, so the next one is the guardhouse, and the guardhouse is very nice because it underrated. But if you get the barracks of the Hall of War, the pack size in the temple is cool because the initial pack size, if you don't have this room, is garbage, right? To the point where you won't even kill most of the monsters if you don't have a tier 3 or tier 2. Sometimes a tier 2 room, and if you get a tier 3, it is the pack size is good enough where it will start dropping more maps if you're doing like 83 zones and things like that. So definitely upgrade this guardhouse if you can, but with other I'll kind of like rank them later, right? Like based on the other rankings. The workshop. Workshop is pretty good. I noticed that when I get a workshop and guardhouse or just workshop, I do start to drop more maps, maybe some more other loots. My filter is pretty strict, so I do notice when things start dropping more often. So that's an okay room. I'll definitely upgrade this one as well. And then we have the Shrine of Empowerment. Now, Shrine of Empowerment is really insane because Shrine of Empowerment, you want it in the middle. You see where the Empowerment Chamber is right now in the middle here? You want it right there because it touches everything. And what it does is it only works if it's tier 3, okay? Any other room, it just makes the monsters like faster. But if you get a tier 3, every room it touches will be upgraded by 1, and it won't show like immediately, but it'll show like after you get the thing, okay? So if you get like a tier 2 Alice of Worlds, tier 2 Corruption Chamber, then it makes it a tier 3, and it's very exciting. So Shrine of Empowerment, almost always go for it. Easily confused for the Hall of Lords, Royal Meeting Chamber, Royal Meeting Chamber into Hall of Lords into Azubi's room. So just make sure you're looking for the name, okay? Royal Meeting Room right here. See, you see how they're like both attack and cast speed. So it can be, if you're like speed running, it's kind of hard to differentiate themselves. But the rank 1 is always called a Royal Meeting Room, okay? And then this one's always Shrine of Empowerment. So it should be easy after you get the rank 1. So basically this contains Queen Azubi. She has been in challenges, for example, this league and previous league. So this might be a challenge room, but it's normal Azubi. It's not Uber Azubi. So questionable. Early league, pretty good. Later on in league, just for challenge, or you might even skip it or delete the room altogether. Because if it is a bottleneck in your temple, it might be pretty rough. I'm pretty sure when you tag this boss, I actually don't know if you can like leave the room after you tag her, but I don't really know. But just be careful in here, okay? Because she's dangerous. If you don't have like reflect immunity or whatever, then it's like extra scary. Okay, the big dick room right here, the Corruption Chamber. Now this is what most people think of as the most PogChamp room, because at rank 1 and 2 it makes it easier to die. It just lowers your max resist, right, like a map roll. But at rank 3 you get to double corrupt, and the options are double corruption, all white sockets. You can get a what is it, like Elder Shaper item or whatever it is. You can completely delete the item, and so you have a 50% chance of bricking, meaning turning it into your unique into a rare, or turning your unique into literally nothing. But you have a 50% chance for, like, you know, white sockets and double corruption. And if you get the double corruption roll, it guarantees 2 implicits. Okay, like guaranteed. So you know, this league, for example, a chain riggy would be like what, 2 or 3 mirrors. If you get like, you know, +1/+2 chests, if you want to do that, that's totally fine. If you have the right chests, if you have even +1 curse amulets, can be like 150 to 200 exalts. So it is very exciting. But remember, you should probably sell this for, like, you know, 60C to 1 exalt early in the league, if you can, because if you're a new player, then you're probably not double corrupting a Riggy, right, or a Solstice Virgil. Well, Solstice Virgil is like 70C early in the league, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, one of the most exciting ones, and the way that you look for this is, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but you're looking for the minus max res when you hover over. Okay, I'll talk more about like the setup when you activate it on this paint setup thing here. Right now I'm just talking about the rooms. Okay, loot rooms. Surveyor Study turns to Alice Worlds. Alice Worlds pretty exciting because tier 1, for every tier you get, okay, up to 3, you get a dusty charts. You're looking for the dusty charts, you click on the dusty charts, and then you will sometimes get, you know, a tier 16 map if you have an 83 zone, or I guess maybe even an 82 zone. And that's pretty exciting, right? Because the map sustain is always good. Better off early in the league, but later in the league, I've gotten, like, you know, 2 or 3 T16s out of 1 dusty charts, but you can also get nothing. So but I find this room to be very exciting because I like T16 maps. Vaults. Okay, as your loot filter gets more and more strict, this room becomes worse and worse. At tier 2 and tier 3, it is a pretty reliable source of, like, the smaller currency, especially whale orbs, and some of the harbinger orbs do also drop from that, but it's not as exciting as you might think, and it's also kind of easy to miss the stone coffers in there. Drooler's Workshop, complete garbage. I guess you get Inspired Learning in here as the best one, but I usually avoid this one, or I don't care. I just, like, switch it into a upgraded, or, like, I switch the room if there's anything better. Storage room, very exciting. Now, storage room rank 2 and above can have, like, the rewards from the other rooms. So you can have, like, a dusty charts in here, you can have jewelers, you can have stone coffers, you can have, like, the and then at tier 3 you can get, like, a chest that has, like, a headhunter or league specific items. So very exciting. Try to get tier 3 if you can. Gem Cutter's Workshop at rank 1 and 2, it doesn't matter, it just, like, drops gems like the end of a fragment zone, right, like a corrupted fragment zone. But if you get a tier 3, it can be big money because it's a double corruption. Now in my testing, I tested out 9 enlightens and empowers, and my rate of getting level 4 was 4 out of 9. So that's pretty darn good. It covers the investment, and that's a good strategy early on because you know, those gems are very expensive, and what happens is it just double corrupts the gem, right? So you can get, like, +1 and then the quality, or it can go both ways, -1 level and minus quality, right? So but it's pretty good. And later on in the league, the 21-23s from Legion that drop a lot, although most of them are pretty trash, if you do certain ones, they can be like 15 exalts, 20 exalts sometimes, depending on time of the day. So as of Legion, you know, last month of the league, this is an insane money room if you get lucky, right? But if you want the baseline, like currency, just do Empower or Enlighten Titan level 3 clean, and don't worry about the other gems, like about playing the market there, right? Because it is a very good rate. Armor's Workshop, I think this is pretty garbage. I've gotten 6 links from this. I think the best thing you can get from this in those chests is you can get divination cards for armors. You can get 6 links, but it's pretty rare, so I usually skip this room. Sparring Room is weapon chest, same thing as above. I usually don't care too much about this room, but if there's nothing else, let's say you're like choosing between this and like a jeweler's workshop, it doesn't really matter. Okay, the hatchery. I'm not going to talk about valuable items because that is it's kind of dubious and depending on time of the league, and depending on who you ask, they might be better or worse, okay? So I'm just going to talk about the effects. So this hatchery, I don't really care too much. Oh, some of these have crafting recipes, but that doesn't really matter, right? So hatchery, flame workshop, and lightning workshop. Now these Omnitech rooms only matter if you go into the very last room at the top, right here. This the Omnitech's chamber is at the very top, and it makes them harder, but it's still an easy fight nowadays. So you can do that. I used to think that this made the drop chance of the more rare vials like Vial of Ghost and Vial of Sacrifice better, but I actually don't think that's true anymore. So these are just kind of whatever rooms. Trap Workshop is terrible. I always convert this. If you see a Trap Workshop, go the other way. Kill the other Architect, because this bleed is like percentage based, just like the lab traps, and it makes your it either makes your temple more annoying or it slows you down, right? Poison Garden, don't care about this either. The Pools of Restoration, I haven't really notice anything great in there, even if I've upgraded it. So these are weird. Tempest Drainer is cool. The rank 1 and 2, you might get some like garbage Tempest, but at rank 3 you get either a Radiating or a Corrupting Tempest, which are amazing Tempests. Kind of annoying because you're like waiting around for them, right, to hit you or the monsters, but it's still very good. If you can get this over some of the other trash ones I mentioned here, I'll definitely do that. And then once again, the rankings for these so far are going to be Corruption Chamber, I would say rank 1. Rank 2, in the current league, I actually like the Gem Cutter's Workshop. And then the, let's say like S tier, right? S tier is like Corruption Chamber, Doriabi, it's called Doriabi's Institute. The Museum of Artifacts is a tier 3 storage room, and then the Atlas of Worlds is the tier 3 Surveyors. And then I'd say those are like the S tier, like really fun, really cool. And then just under that might be like Guardhouse, Workshop for the magic find, and then maybe like vaults and explosive rooms, maybe, for if you're bad at connecting your rooms. Okay, so those are the rooms. That's what I think about the rooms. Let's talk about this map real quick. I'm gonna try to, can I make this bigger? Okay, so wait, I can do this. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when you encounter an Alba. Okay, so when you encounter an Alba, you are gonna see this thing right here. So let me get my control. Wait, what is undo? What is the hotkey for undo? Does anybody know? Is it Control R? Control Z. Okay. So how do I make a bigger brush though? Does anyone know how to make a bigger brush? Oh, there we go. Okay, so when you talk to Alba, there will always be, unless you miss one, okay? In a full set, there's always 3 Albas that spawn in your zone if you're leveling, or in your map if you're mapping, okay? They can't spawn in boss rooms. So you're always going to see this in the top right corner, okay? You click on Alba, she's going to pop up this screen, and the first thing you want to hover over real quick is this and this, okay? Because these will give you information on what room it is. So a triangle, which will always be at the top, means an upgrade into something. So if you see a triangle, then, okay, I should have had this back. If you see a triangle, it means that there is a rank 1 of any of the rooms I just talked about, okay, already. If there is not a triangle, and they are just like this, well, what is this shape? This is a rhombus. Is this a rhombus, or is this a cube? It's like a Quiznos logo. Okay, so if you see a Quiznos logo, then that means that is a normie room that has nothing. It's like it can upgrade into a tier 1. So you might see one of these and one triangle, or you might see 2 Quiznos logos, okay? If you see 2, it just means that it's like your choice. Do you want to get a tier 1 room of this or that? And so you're gonna mouse over, and you are gonna remember about the tiering of these rooms. You're gonna look for these affixes, okay? So this is a quick example. Let's say you see you mouse. Okay, this is like kind of hard to explain. Okay, let me do this real quick. Let's say you mouse over this. God, you can't even see it. Okay, scuff video. Let's say you mouse over this triangle, and you see that it says minus maximum resistances, okay? Then you know that's a corruption chamber. If you see that's like, you know, drops like maps, then you know it can be an Atlas of Worlds. If you see it contains gems, then you know it's a possible Doriabi's catalyst. If you see, what else is good? If you see, you know, speed of monsters, right? Then that's either the Royal Meeting Room or the Empowerment Shrine. So you're gonna mouse over this one first because usually it's an upgrade, right? And you'll instantly know which room it is. And then after that, be sure to check the other one always, because here's why. Let's say your favorite room is Doriabi's Catalyst, right? So you mouse over this and you see it can upgrade to a rank 2 gem room. You're like, oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm just going to hit the enter encourage. You're going to hit this button right here. You're going to go in and then just going to go straight for this guy up here. By killing the Architect, you upgrade or change, okay? Just a quick note. But if you didn't mouse over the other one, you're not going to see if it was a minus max, okay? So a good room, upgrading from 1 to 2 is great. But make sure to check in case the other room is even better, right? You know what I mean? Like, I would say at this point in the league, let's say like you love guardhouse, right? And this is gonna be like a tier 3 guardhouse, and you only have 9 rooms left. So you have to hit every single room to get the corruption chamber. And you mouse over, and you're like, oh, minus max res rank 1. I'll still go for the minus max res because it's more exciting and more potential profit, right? So always mouse over both before you make your decision, even if the upgrade room, the triangle, is like your favorite room. Okay, that's just like a little tidbit. Okay. Quick things about this. After you mouse over and you know exactly which direction you're going to go to first, you'll click your enter incursion, and you'll have a timer. The more monsters you kill, the more time you have. There's a bar that tells you how many, although it's how many monsters are left, how many you've killed, although that is very inaccurate if you kill too fast, right? And then once you kill the guy, it's upgraded, then you can focus on clearing the rest. The rewards from this room at the end when they drop aren't that great. They're pretty trash. And inside the room, it doesn't drop loot, so don't worry about that, okay? One quick note that might be confusing. When you mouse over the thing and it says what room it's going to be, you kill that thing to get that room, okay? It's not like opposite. So like if this said minus max res, you would kill the triangle to get the next minus max res room, if that makes sense, okay? You don't go like the opposite way. Okay, other things that could happen. If you accidentally get off the screen, or you get shroud walked, or you get teleported, or you die, or anything, one of two things is going to happen. If you don't leave the zone, you will have to talk to Alva again and click on enter incursion manually from her, because if you talk to her again, you don't get this screen, okay? If you leave the zone, there's a bug where sometimes this top right disappears completely, and if that happens, you're going to enter the incursion zone, and you will see this again with your, I think the default button is B, mine is like number 4, but when you enter the incursion, you can hit your hotkey, and then you can bring this up again, if that ever happens. It happens like 1 out of 100 times, but it does happen, okay? A little note right there. Okay, so that's like how you do it. Inside, you're gonna drop a thing that's called a stone of passage. It looks like this. I'm just gonna draw it because I'm an idiot and I didn't bring up a image or picture of what the stone of passage looks like. But it looks like this. It's an orange stone like this. Okay, and if you're using like some trash filter, or like even if you're using like the most normie filter, it should highlight like quest items like that and like a green, like a shiny thingy. So so you'll see it, and when you pick that up, what that does, it allows you to click on a red door, okay? So this one right here, for example, if you were hitting this temple room, right? This one right here, or this one right here. And after you hit the red door, sometimes in the map menu, it'll still show red. I don't know if that's a bug or intended, but like just know that you can hit the door and it'll disappear from your inventory. It doesn't carry out. You can't like leave the room with it. If you leave early, or you die, or you fail the timer, it'll just disappear from your inventory. So don't worry about keeping it after, or like saving it for future temples. It only works in that 30-second instance, okay? So you'll pick up those. Okay, so there was a patch note a while ago that said that you were pretty much guaranteed a stone if there was a red room, but that is not true, okay? Lots of the time, you can have 6 red doors, which means 6 blockages, and you won't get a single stone. It happens all the time. It's completely ridiculous, even if you full clear the zone. So don't worry if you like don't get a stone. It's just like they're just bad at coding the game, even though it's in the patch notes. And sometimes you'll get an extra stone when all the doors are green. It's weird, okay? So don't worry about that either. That doesn't mean you missed anything. It just means the game is bad. So that's another thing with the Alva Temple. Now I'll talk about how to use the stones, like the most efficient pathing and which doors you should look for first, depending on where you are, in a second, okay? Let me clear all this. So you'll touch the door. Sometimes sometimes the door lags. You have to click it like 10 times, which is also bad. Okay, so you'll use that to open the doors, and how are we going to path, right? Because you have limited time. If you're a new player, you probably have some really slow build, and like let's say you only have like 10 seconds left to decide on one of these rooms. Well, what I recommend, okay, like as a baseline rule, especially when you're starting out, is just go left and right. So I'm going to use a connector. I'm going to use green color for the connectors. So that means, let's say that you always start here, okay? Once you get out of the jungle, you start an entrance. So if you were connecting left and right, by left and right, I mean right here and right here. This is what I mean by, this is left, obviously, right? The southwest one, and the northeast room is right. Okay, that's just like orientation if I talk about it later. And you won't always get these, right? Because on the sides they don't have, like right here and right here, there's no left here and there's no right here, right? So some of them won't have it, but if it does, and most of them do, always use your stone on the left and right first, as a general rule if you're a noob, okay? And the reason you do that is because let's imagine that you have a room that you didn't go any left, right, and so it's just like this, okay? It's like this. Let's just imagine this room, okay? So in this temple, you're gonna start here, you're gonna go here, you're gonna backtrack, okay? So you go 1, you're gonna backtrack. You're gonna go 2, let's just say you go 3, you're gonna go 4, okay, you're backtracked now, right? And then you go 5, you're here, and then 6, you're gonna go here. So that's 6, and you're gonna go here. 7, and then you're gonna go here. 8, and you're gonna go here. 9, backtrack, and then you go here. 10, backtrack, and you go here. That's 11, right? That's fine, it's a new room. And then you're gonna go here. Okay, you know how garbage that is? So instead, imagine if every stone you get is actually left and right. And obviously you maybe have a connector like this, okay? Now look at this layout here. So you go in here, okay, and what if this is connected? Okay, look at this. You just go, this is like the dream. You never get this, but this is, okay, hold on. This is the dream. You see this? You go all the way across, you go up 1 level, you go all the way across, you go up 1 level, you go all the way across, and that's like the perfect layout. Once again, you won't always get this, but as a general rule of thumb, as a new player, this will help you out because sometimes you'll forget rooms and you're like backtracking. It's like really annoying, okay? Now, there are caveats to this. Sometimes something is not even connected, okay? You see this tunnels right here? Wait, hold on. You see this tunnels right here? This isn't connected. So let's say that you had like 2 rooms unconnected, okay? And this was a valuable room. Let's say this was a gem room or a corruption room, and it wasn't connected, although you had a tier 2 and almost ready to be a tier 3, or you have a tier 3. It's not connected. In that specific case, you might want to connect it to something that already has a connection. That way you can always get to it, okay? It happens like, it probably won't happen that much, but it does happen, especially if you're lazy, and especially when you're starting out, you might not get all your stone of passages connected because you have no idea what you're doing. So you might want to look for that case for valuable rooms just to make sure it's connected. Okay, these days, like, you're probably going to connect most things, but just in case. Okay, so that's one instance where you might not go left and right. Another thing is this. So left and right is more and more important the lower you are on the temple, because look at this. If I draw this line right here, these 9 rooms right here, you really want to get those left and right so you can do a full clear and it's like smooth, especially if you're a juicer build or a stacking build, or you don't want to lose your charges, like let's say you're not even res capped without endurance charges, right? So what's going to happen is these are weighted more heavily on left and right, and then these up here you should look at the downwards ones, and downwards I mean here and here, okay? And why is that? It's because up here you can't get up here on the top of the temple without being underneath those rooms, right? So because you're underneath those rooms, you're looking for those up connectors after you've cycled through the bottom rooms, okay? So it's okay if you drop a stone and you want to do these bottom rooms if you're up here, up on the top half of the temple. And also if you're running out of time, that's totally fine as well, right? Like it's like I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much, but these are like the general rules. Okay, so that's like pathing in the temple. Full clearing, you shouldn't really do that because overall the rewards are trash. Okay, if you have really good connectors, you can. The boss, Vial of the Ghost, is very expensive. You know, that's like at this point 60 to 100 Exalt Flask. So depending on the economy, you might want to do the boss, you might not. Okay. Boss is phased, by the way. It's easy. And then as for anything else, if an architect is in a room, you don't need to kill them. I usually kill them, but they don't drop really anything noticeable past the other monster packs. So don't worry about like killing architects. What else is there? Is that it? That's about it. Okay, that's what I think about the temple. Try to finish your temples because they just made a change. So there's always 12 temples or 12 rooms in a temple. So if you hit a map and you mismanage your albas or you forget, it's going to be offset. And what I mean by that is when you talk to Alba, if you finish and she doesn't have a multiple of 3, so if it doesn't say 3, 6, or 9 remaining, it means you missed one somewhere in the sequence, right? Which doesn't matter. It just kind of sucks because, like, let's say you have 1 remaining, and then you get Alba in a next map. She's only gonna give you 1 room. She doesn't give you like 1 room, finish the temple, and then 2 more rooms, right? So you've wasted 2/12 or 1/6 of the next temple whenever you do this. So try to hit all your Albas in the maps when she spawns, okay? Other than that, that's it. That's it. She has some nice decorations too. So finish your quest. Okay, I'm live every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/Qto_. If you have any questions, you can ask me there. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Okay, bye everyone. Bye. All right, dude. That's my video, dude.